So can we trust your character? Is he,
Definitely not. I have no idea. I don't trust him.
You don't trust
me. I don't trust anything on this show.
Right.
Yeah. In season 2, I don't know. We've gotten the first script, and I'm pretty excited about the way it's going. But I don't immediately I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, I don't trust you at all. So I don't trust me.
How far into season 1 did you realize that your character was working for Ilaria?
Episode 13. Yeah, that was a nice twist that was thrown at me in episode 13. And it's also a testament to, and I'm not sure that the writers necessarily had that set up from the get-go, because I know, like, as we went into the process, they left things kind of open enough to be able to react to what we were bringing, react to the way stories were developing, so they could tweak and I think keep it fresh and play off us a lot. So I don't know if they had that in place necessarily. They definitely didn't tell me. But when I read that final episode, I started in my mind playing back what I had done up to that point, and it all still manages to line up with my idea of the character and everything I've done. Because they didn't leave my motivation. They left my motivations very open, right? So we don't know why Peter did what he did yet. So I'm interested to find out. I really don't know why. I have my ideas, in order to kind of play the scene out. But I don't know if that's what is actually going to play out. So I'm anxious to find out. Do you guys know anything?
Huey knows what to do.
I was always wondering about you and your brother had such a good chemistry on screen. Like, is that one first couple episodes where you, or I think you're on the hospital bed, and he's like talking about you're out, you're not conscious of, but like your father and your childhood and how like it wasn't your fault, that kind of stuff. I mean, are you going to have more of that, or how is that experience like being brothers together?
I hope we have more of that, because I really I love, like, he's a beautiful man, Billy, right? So he's really easy to look up to as an older brother. He is an older brother in his family dynamic, and I am the youngest in my family, so those kind of those roles make sense to both of us. And I really look up to Billy a lot. He's an amazing guy. I learned a lot from him during the season. And so that is kind of easy. We get along in a lot of ways. We both play rugby, so we got a lot of fun stories about that. And I really found those scenes. The one where I'm out, and then I think it was episode 3, 4, or 5 where Peter comes out of the coma, and we have these couple of scenes together, really kind of low key scenes that really feel really honest and kind of beautiful, and I really love shooting those. And I watch them. I really feel a nice relationship with us. It was really easy to develop with him because of that. I think the fact that we both occupy those spaces in our own families of origin, we definitely know those relationships. And I think I'm a pretty open guy, and he's definitely an open guy. And we like each other. So it really helps. And when I'm strapped down to a gurney for hours on end, he's hovering over me. He's doing all kinds of fun older brother character work with me between takes. Yeah. So we'll call that helping.
So in the first season, you had lots of like crawling around in vents and things.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your setting for the second season?
I can't talk too much about the setting for the second season, other than I don't think I was in a vent yet, from what I've seen. But yeah, they've taken it out of that. Well, obviously we don't have a base anymore. And where did we last saw us? In Paris, right? Okay, so we've moved out of the base. I don't know how much I want to say, because when I read the first episode a few days ago, I had to really like, oh, cool. I don't want to take that away from anybody. So, but things are different for season 2. We're in a different place, and I'm really excited just to kind of find out where all these relationships go, and. There's a lot of loose ends at the end of season 1 that are going to be tied up or not in season 2. I don't know. Hopefully we get multiple seasons and we can address some longer storylines in there. But I'm really excited to see where everything plans for this season.
There are a lot of virus dramas on air right now.
Yeah, but we were the first.
Of course. But what do you think it is that fascinates people about that whole type of story?
I think the plausibility of it. You know, there's something, we're kind of germophobic, right? The past, I don't know, 20 years or so, we've become really sanitized, you know, and I don't know if all the kind of epidemic of food allergies has something to do with that, if the kids aren't eating enough dirt or something. But we're becoming sort of allergic to our environment, right? And so I think that feeds into that fears around that, because we have this fear built up about our environment, like we're afraid of it. So I think the proliferation of these kind of shows feeds into that fear. It's a really visceral thing, right? It could happen. We're in the Purell kind of generation. In a public place, you can go squirt Purell. And I don't think it's a good thing. I think we need to eat a little more dirt. I think we need to acclimatize ourselves to our environment so it doesn't, you know, because it's going to try to kill us. And then, yeah, so I think that kind of goes in.
Are you still going to be doing your production in Montreal, or are you guys moving?
We're in Montreal again, yeah. So we start, I think we go to camera August 11th, so we're all heading in for the 4th of August to start our part of the pre-production. They've been out there for probably a couple of months, building sets, location scouting and whatnot. But our part of it starts in about a week. Yeah, really excited. That's my hometown, so it's fun to go over and shoot in Montreal.
What have you learned about the new environment you guys are going to be in now that the Arctic base is basically gone?
I've learned that it's not going to be minus 50. That's about it, that we're not there. And what's interesting about shooting in Montreal from August to December is we have 3 seasons in there. You know, so you know, location shooting in that climate presents. So I don't actually know anything about it. I just have kind of questions about how that's going to be dealt with over 13. You know, if we follow the same pattern as we did last year of each episode being a day. How that's going to play into it, because we have 3 seasons are going to happen over our shooting period. So I'm interested to see kind of how that's dealt with. You know, it presents a challenge, but also presents some interesting opportunities.
What was your favorite episode for season 1 that you shot?
I think my favorite episode. That's really hard. I think 3. It might be because I'm hardly in it, so I actually. No, do you know? Like I find I can watch like scenes I'm not in more kind of objectively, and I can kind of get drawn into it more than stuff I'm in. It's just I find it difficult to watch my work. You know, we judge ourselves, and I'm pulled out of the process. So that might be why, because in 3 I'm hardly in it. But it is actually just really beautifully shot. The director who directed that episode is actually our executive director this year, Steve Adelson. He's pretty awesome, and I thought his episode was really sharp. So I'm looking forward to actually working with him for more than 2 words. And yeah, I think that would be my favorite. I know it's because he's like, I love the way he works, and I love the aesthetic of that episode. And I'm also curious if it's because I'm hardly in it, so I got to objectively watch it a little more.